Left Wing Kings. Listen, think, act, repeat.
There's a potential U.S. ban on TikTok that's going on right now. It's an issue that could have global impacts. You're talking about data privacy, international relationships, freedom of speech is what I'm hearing a lot around that. Some of the concerns and considerations that have led to this moment are outside of that, those things as well. Now, the debates surrounding TikTok's future in the American digital landscape could lead to a landmark decision for social media and cybersecurity. So, Ace, what are your thoughts on the TikTok conundrum?
Well, I've said it on this show before. I was never with TikTok. I ain't downloaded TikTok. I really believe that it's always been a kind of a China political move to influence our youth. Their TikTok and our TikTok are two different TikToks. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that I'm with the ban pretty much until the ban, because I do believe in this case TikTok does need some regulation. And I know people say, well, and Facebook and them are going through their things. We know that. But TikTok is owned by China or a Chinese company. And with that being said, we already know that China has did all type of cyber attacks against us. They're our enemy. That's what they are. And they shouldn't have that freedom in this country.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just think we're behind the ball because India's banned it, Canada's banned it, New Zealand's banned it. Who else? Finland. Like, we have all these countries that already banned TikTok. So something's going on. I think United States, we always just come from behind, like with COVID and everything else. And we just need to look at other countries and see what is happening. Why did you ban it? These are large. Canada said, no. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to security threats, we have a thing of misinformation. We know that's happening through media, through TikTok, all kind of, we need help. And if TikTok is causing those kind of issues, then, I'm for it. I mean, we need security.
Now, you're a TikTok lover.
I am. And that's for me. I love TikTok. I watch cat videos and dance videos and just funny stuff. So I'm like, why is this a bad thing? But misinformation does come up there. Again, I don't, what is it? It follows what you like, right? So
the
I'm not looking at
algorithm uses that
the issue.
to push you information.
Right. But
videos.
When it comes to personal information, if they're selling my stuff, I got an excellent credit score. I'm not trying to lose that, I will get rid of my TikTok. It's okay. If it's a security issue within the country, then I'm for it, Yeah. I give it up.
So I heard of several things like saying that it's a security issue. Can you guys talk about what are the specific U.S. concerns around TikTok?
That's information. Come on, Ace.
I
get that one.
Want to talk.
Yeah.
No, man. I just put it point blank. Period. We're not at war with China, but we definitely know that they're not out for our best interest. And you just don't leave yourself wide open like that. And if we're asking them something to do in the country, like, hey, get with an American company so we can have some regulation on them, and they're saying no, then they probably don't need to be here. Mm-hmm. But then let's talk about just youth influence, just for the simple fact that, I know I sound like the old guy, get off my lawn here kind of guy here, but, you got people that are specifically saying, damn, I got to go get a job now because I can't be on TikTok. What? You know what I'm saying? That's a side hustle, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That ain't
TikTok
gonna be your career.
Kind of money for people anyway.
And the culture that we have now, the kind of the laissez-faire culture we have now, and the fact that social media, we know, is scientifically proven to influence people. I think that's just a lot of power to give up to one of our adversaries in the world, on the world stage. I mean, it's just, that's just a no-brainer to me. In the day, in the story, on this show, we may talk about a lot of things that we want the country to get better at, but at the end of the day, we love the country and we want the best for it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I don't think it puts the country's best interest at hand.
Yeah. So the information from specific things that we think China might do using TikTok. So like you said, TikTok's owned by China, right? There's a Chinese company called ByteDance that owns it, and they're based out of China. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Chinese government has the right to ask any company there to give them their data and their information. So what this means is that the Chinese government if ByteDance has information through TikTok data that they're getting from our users, they can just say, the Chinese government can say, give me all that information. I want it all. And they're supposed to give that information to the government because that's the type of government that exists in China. It's not like here where a company has their own private information and the government can't make them give it to them, right? They can to a certain extent, like for taxes and, creating your corporation and shit like that, but not just getting your data. They can't just, like the U.S. government can't come to you and say, give me all your data you got on black people.
I'm actually glad you explained this because I didn't see this come up on my MySpace or Black Voices. I ain't see this on Black Voices. I didn't see
Black
this.
Voices.
On there.
I think it's Black Planet.
That's Black Planet. So ByteDance, is that company. So the Chinese government grab all that shit if they want to. Also, to your point, I think both of you talked about this, and this happened in the previous election, like Russia, like pushing disinformation, propaganda, shit like that out to the users on our end to give them pro-Chinese, negative U.S. Information and things like that. So they don't want to use for those things as well. Now, with all of that being said, they're touching on some touchy ground here. Like, if you start to ban TikTok, is it possible that the government could be like, well, let's regulate other social media platforms?
They already do. Yeah. I mean, that's why Facebook is in court. Is it Facebook in court right now?
All of them in court.
They're in court right now.
Ban them.
First Amendment, they're going to fight. It'll be a big, I don't know. You know how we scream First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment. So they're really going to have to, I don't know, circumvent. I don't know how you circumvent the First Amendment. That is the biggest issue.
Well, I'm a big user of social media, but even I think it should be regulated. Hell, a lot of things, transportation is regulated. There's a lot of things that are regulated in this country for the best interest of people. And I mean, if the blowback is, now we got to regulate Facebook and Instagram and blah blah. Okay, I mean, I don't have a problem with that as long as it's in the interest of people's safety and preventing us from being manipulated by governments. Kind of like you said, you didn't say it as much, but how much do we know that the influence of social media got Trump elected and got Hillary not elected? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We don't really know how that happened. You know what I'm saying?
We kind of know.
Yeah.
We kind of know.
But that's a powerful tool to give your enemy if they can start influencing your elections like that, and even causing election mayhem. And distrust in the government, which they're doing a lot of. Hey, you know what? Don't trust those elections. That's straight out the playbook of Russia. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Russia did in 2016.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. We have evidence of that.
Now we got half the country that don't trust elections, don't think the last election was right. I think the social media may have played a part into that.
They don't trust elections if their candidate does not. Well, now when they win, it's perfect. Mm-hmm. There was no problem.
Yeah.
But so, when you look and it's their person at the top didn't win, but downstream everyone else won. Like, well, all those other people won. You didn't win. How's it? So did they all lose too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just, make it that we win every
time? Right.
Every time. If we can control elections.
Yes. And we don't think social media was a vehicle to say, hey, you know what, some of these elections are rigged, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. We don't think that. And so let's hand that over to China.
That's where people get their news from now,
exactly.
bro. Mm-hmm. They don't even CNN,
research anything.
Fox, all of that. They get their news from memes.
Hey, I went to sleep.
Memes.
I went to sleep. Hillary Clinton was about to be president. When I woke up, Donald Trump was president.
Hey, bro, I was sitting there laughing the whole night.
Al Gore.
I don't know why I found it so funny, but because everybody said like she was going to win, and she just kept losing state after state. And then I came to a realization. I was like, this motherfucker just won, man. How the fuck did this happen? But
you know what I thought? I said, man, somebody at work lied. Cause they was talking all that noise, and I know who they went and pulled for. You know what I'm saying?
But how he won by the Electoral College, not because
he didn't win the popular vote.
None of the Republicans ever win. Does everybody see this besides me?
They've won one election in like the past 30 years where they have actually won the popular vote, and that was George Bush's second one.
That is correct.
After 9/11.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Up into the back to the 80s.
Yeah. Never.
Or when Daddy Bush they've
Electoral
lost
college.
them all. Electoral college,
The Electoral College is getting them on. So popular votes say,
which is more people.
right?
Like you said,
They're not in
earlier,
agreement
the point that you
with.
made. Like, is it really a democracy when
It's
the majority
Yeah.
is
the
not
yeah.
getting what they want?
I've been saying this. No one listens to me.
Yeah. Yep. So I think TikTok is dangerous. You know, especially if the government don't step in. This is the time they need to. And I'm sorry for a lot of these people that got to go get a job now.
So let me ask you this, man. I mean, the people like you talk about influencers because you an influencer. You on this show, nigga. So,
I got a job.
one day, you got a job too. That's a great point. But one day we want to have income coming from this show too.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day. But you know, we talk about the government needs to step in. The government already stepped in. And you know there's a ban on TikTok for government devices right now.
Yeah.
Already.
Right. So the government devices are safe from this data mining. The people in the government, I guess they can't see the videos that they showing. Is the government going too far from getting into the civilian
That's the
sector
First
and saying,
Amendment,
hey,
right?
you have TikTok to our citizens? Like, are they trying to what?
Well, I'm
When is
curious.
enough?
I'm curious if the government is like, hey, we can't have that on ours. Why would you want it on everybody else's? There's got to be a reason behind that.
I think they're afraid of having, Chinese having a back door on there and be able to get in. And, a few weeks ago, something shut down. Facebook went down and people went nuts.
They went crazy.
And then something else shut down too, like some
Your phone, your cell phone, the AT&T, people can call
AT&T.
out.
So I'm like, those are
China.
probing attacks.
Yeah.
They're seeing how, okay, let's hit this button and see what happens.
they tried to
here.
say it wasn't.
And it's a social
It was.
A social experiment. How do people get apparently people lost their mind because they the phone wasn't working or the whatever else
What's that
wasn't working.
Netflix movie that just came out with the black guy? They lend their house as a vacation house, and the people move in.
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
It reminds me of that shit. Like they just fucked social media and everything was fucked up, and the whole country went crazy.
They're just trying to see
happened?
what would happen, how would people react, and if we did this, because now I know I can set it up for a wider scale and hit more people. So they have the electronics.
We
they
call
can
them test and learns.
Yeah, you could put back doors and stuff and say, let me see what this back door, this trap door works. How's this going to work?
And I still don't trust them damn balloons that was flying over. from China.
Weather balloon.
Like seriously, like that just went away. They just had whole balloons flying over.
The whole country, nigga.
And surveying.
But this is the point that I made to her. Like, exactly.
We do it too.
You think we ain't doing the same
Oh,
shit to
yeah,
them?
no, I think we
You
doing
think we
it.
ain't doing test and learns, probing and they shit and
Yeah,
fucking
no,
up they
I think-
shit?
I think
we
we
doing the
doing
same
it.
shit.
Nah, no, we wouldn't do that.
Man, get the fuck out.
I think we're doing it too. But I think China got things set up to the point where, hey, and even if they don't have set up, if you a citizen in China, you ain't got no say anyway. You ain't got to say set up.
But here's my
we
thing.
bitching and complaining, and I'm saying that we probably do need some regulation. That's all different.
But here's my thing too. I'm like, man, if we think that the U.S. government is treating us fucked up and we need reparations and all that, they doing much more than what the fuck they doing to us. They doing all kind of shit all over this world.
Yeah.
And they fucking with all kind of different people. And the reason why they want the regulation to me is because they know what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
And they don't want it done to them. It's kind of like the same thing I say about Republican parties. Same shit.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
get
going
it.
to enforce a ban because they couldn't get people to help people live. We think about COVID. We asked people to wear a mask. Look how people went crazy. You think they're going to lose their mind? You take away their TikTok and
They
their
gonna
First
take away
Amendment.
TikTok.
People like choices. They like options. They want to do what they want to do.
They all
Donald
crazy.
Trump, before he was against TikTok. Then he met with somebody, and then he was for TikTok, and he said it was under the guise of, well, I just don't want to give too much power to the Instagram, Facebook folks. I don't want them to have. I don't want Zuckerberg to have that much power. But no, he met with somebody probably. Some under trying to get that money.
Yeah.
He got
Need
bills
money.
to pay. So he done came out and said, "Nah, don't vote against that." So now they trying to back up and chill. Like, oh no, we're not for that. Like, yo, this dude is not. He is not a political. He's not in office. No one has elected him. Can y'all please stop listening to this man?
Yeah, nah,
Money.
they gonna do that.
Hey, is there a way that we can kind of, mitigate the issues with TikTok without putting a ban on the company?
I said like a data privacy law reform, like put in a law, like reform the data privacy thing. It's really the access to the data is what is the concern. And I don't work in tech, so I don't know how that works.
Right.
But if they figure something out with that, where they have, they can protect people's data, I don't think this would be an issue. Because they're going to be selling information, right? And the point of the information. Now, the misinformation is the only problem I do have. People just on there just saying things that are just not truthful, and people are so easily influenced on that, obviously. Yeah. Hence why we're in the situations that we're in. Yeah. I don't know how you control that.
Yeah, so to your point, TikTok has and I found this online somewhere. I can't remember the source, so I apologize. TikTok has a $1.5 billion project to ensure sensitive user data is kept on U.S. soil. It can't be accessed from China. Right. So that goes back to your point. Right.
But who's going to manage that?
Nah, I don't know.
The Chinese?
No, the United States. It'd be the U.S.
I would hope
the ones that can ask for all the data.
Soil. So I hope
that's just.
I'm pretty certain.
I don't know the answer to that.
That's smoke and mirrors right
there. If you download the program, it probably has access to everything in your whatever electronics you have.
Right.
And it's a matter of them going in there, hitting a button, and snatching your data.
Yeah. But there would have to be some type of, like you said, controls in place. That shit can't happen. They have to use technology to try to stop it. But to your point, there's a way around it. Hackers exist, man.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of money.
Here's my solve to that is, the only way I see out with TikTok, they got to become a subsidiary to a large U.S. company that everybody trusts, like a Disney or an Apple.
Truth Social.
Oh, hell no.
You know he want that. Boy, he would try to go for that shit.
A Disney or an Apple and to the point that was not going to be afraid of some heavy government regulation. But they'll have to get with somebody strong enough to where we feel that they're trustworthy enough to they're part of Disney now. Okay. Yeah. And then now Disney's letting FBI and everybody just crawl in there and make sure everything's good and making us feel safe at home. That's the only solve I see with it, and I don't think TikTok's going to do that. So I think they're going to eventually get banned. Because I honestly think part of what they're doing, I think just part of it is just that they're China and they don't want to be told what to do by America. You know,
if they could ban Pornhub in Texas, anything can get it.
Anything can happen.
Anything can get banned. Well, so what do you think is going to get banned?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I think they'll find a way to get around it.
And you already said you don't think it's going to get banned.
I think if it's about money, sell the company to United States. But they don't want to do that. So then I do feel like there's some type of hidden agenda. Because if it's about money, just go on and sell it, make your profit, and move on. To your point,
if they get banned, they get
zero
money from the United States.
So that's how you'll know.
If they sell it to a U.S. subsidiary like Disney or somebody,
you got your money.
At least they get some money. I mean,
that's how they do business over there, though. Right. I mean, we have to. Yeah, our corporations have to give them, access to their patents and information.
We so much nicer to
and then they exploit it. And that's why when they come out with stuff, it always looks like our stuff. It's like that. It looks just like this. Yeah,
it look like Jordan
function like it.
But Jordan's dunking backwards and shit like that. he's doing a 360.
Jordan doing a handstand with his feet up.
They're like, these Yao Mings look just like Jordan.
This nigga doing a sky hook. Like, what the hell?